In the swirl of London's 1960s rock scene, a piece of graffiti emblazoned on a railway bridge in Islington declared a simple but emphatic message: Eric Clapton is God.
You know, it's unpopular in some respects. It's because an English kid playing the blues. I mean, it's just wrong.
What if we do Sunshine? Is that satisfying?
It wasn't just an act of vandalism, it was a proclamation that captured the zeitgeist of an era when Clapton stood head and shoulders above most of his peers. To many, he was an unassailable figure, wielding his guitar like a priest leading a devoted congregation. But beneath the exaltation lay an artist deeply committed to his craft, who, through sheer virtuosity, earned his place in the history of rock and blues greats.
It's what you play when you've done that makes a difference, you know, because you can play...
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, just the amount of pressure you put on with the flat pick, you know, because you can hit the strings very hard or hit them very soft, you know, or just touch them at any volume. You see? Now I can play that at the same volume but softer.
The mythical status Clapton acquired during this period can largely be traced back to his work with seminal bands like Cream and the Yardbirds, groups where his competitive edge and meticulous musicianship were on full display. Yet, while many were swept away by the excesses of the rock lifestyle, something that Clapton himself would later struggle with, his focus, at least in the early years, remained fixed on the purity of the music. Clapton's playing, even when surrounded by chaos, never lost its clarity. The guitar, for him, was more than a tool of expression. It was a conduit through which he communicated a deeper, often painful truth, one that found its origins in the blues. Clapton's musical journey was shaped by an eclectic range of influences, some of whom he has never been shy about acknowledging. Among these, Duane Allman stands out as one of the most significant. When Clapton first heard Allman's solo on Wilson Pickett's rendition of Hey Jude, he was immediately struck by the young guitarist's brilliance. It wasn't simply the technical proficiency that impressed him, but the emotional weight that Allman was able to convey through each note.
When I heard Wilson Pickett's version of Hey Jude, I knew that Tom would be involved in the recording of that. And I asked him who it was, and he said, this is this guy called Skydog Allman.
I said, Eric, Duane Allman was on the phone. He and the brothers are playing here tomorrow, and he was hoping he could come by. And Eric looked at me. He said, you mean the chap who played on the back end of the Wilson Pickett Hey Jude record, and he plays me Duane's solo? And I said, yes. He said, he's playing here tomorrow? I said, he's doing an outdoor concert. He said, we have to go see him.
Clapton, a man who knew the depths of emotion embedded in blues music, later remarked that he had never heard better rock guitar playing on an R&B record. The two would later collaborate on the now legendary Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs, a project that further cemented Allman's standing in Clapton's personal pantheon. But Allman was far from the only player to have left an indelible mark on Clapton's career. Muddy Waters and Robert Johnson, both titans of the blues, exerted a profound influence over Clapton from an early age. It's impossible to overstate the impact these figures had on the British guitarist, especially Johnson, whose Crossroad blues haunted Clapton in a way few songs ever could. Clapton once admitted that listening to Johnson was almost unbearable due to the sheer emotional force the music carried. The complexity of Johnson's playing, coupled with the rawness of his voice, resonated with Clapton, who sought to channel that same authenticity in his own performances.
I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knees.
Then, of course, there was Jimi Hendrix.
I like Hendrix very much. I think he's great.
The story of Clapton's first encounter with Hendrix is the stuff of rock legend, a tale of two musical giants sizing each other up in a London club. Hendrix, always the showman, had come to town with his guitar and swagger, eager to prove his mettle. Clapton, already established as one of the premier guitarists of the time, found himself in awe of Hendrix's ability, recognizing immediately that this was no mere imitator, but a genuine trailblazer.
Having been in London for just a week, Jimi went along to a Cream gig and put in an audacious request to jam with Clapton.
He just played his arse off, basically. You know, I mean, the first time I saw Eric, I thought, oh, there's a master guitar player, but Eric was a guitar player. Jimi was some sort of force of nature.
Eric just stands there and plays, and then we got this guy suddenly, you know, on his knees and playing with his teeth and, you know, screwing the guitar on stage, and I thought, God almighty, what is this?
It was like, wow, that kind of a thing. I know it had a tremendous effect on Eric.
And Eric's hands were like this on the guitar, and it just dropped at his side. And he just stood there looking at Jimi, and he walked up the stage. And I thought, oh dear, I knew this was going to happen.
And everybody's just going, my God. And it's like, word goes around, this guy got up to jam with Cream and he cut Clapton. He killed God, man, you know.
I ran backstage and Eric was standing trying to light a cigarette, you know. His hands were shaking. He just says, is he really that good?
While the public may have seen them as rivals, Clapton viewed Hendrix as a kindred spirit, someone who shared his respect for the instrument and the tradition from which their music sprung. But Clapton's appreciation for guitarists extended beyond his contemporaries. Clapton held in high regard, though perhaps unexpected for some, was John Mayer. While Mayer's early career may have been typified by pop ballads and heartthrob status, Clapton recognized a more profound talent lurking beneath the surface. Their collaboration on Eric Clapton and Friends revealed Mayer's extraordinary gift, his ability to slip effortlessly into the kind of guitar work that demanded both technical precision and emotional depth. Clapton, rarely one to lavish praise unnecessarily, was stunned by Mayer's ability to nail his parts in mere takes, an achievement that few could match, especially under the pressure of recording alongside a legend.
We had him play for him Don't Wait, Magnolia and Lies, and he cut all those tracks in about an hour, first or second take, and I was gobsmacked. Really. I mean, you know, new respect for John, because he's extremely gifted. His facility is phenomenal. He is a master.
Yet despite all these laudatory mentions, there is one name that, for Clapton, stands above the rest: Albert Lee. To Clapton, Lee was the epitome of what it meant to be a guitarist, a true master of the instrument whose virtuosity seemed almost otherworldly. Clapton has described him as the ultimate musician, capable of playing at a level that few could even dream of achieving. In an industry where hyperbole is often thrown around carelessly, Clapton's reverence for Lee is striking for its sincerity. It is perhaps the highest praise he has ever given to any fellow artist, a recognition not only of Lee's technical abilities, but also of his creative spirit. In a world that often prizes spectacle over substance, Clapton has always returned to the music itself as the foundation of everything. While his career has had its share of personal struggles and controversies, his commitment to the guitar and the artistry it represents has remained unwavering. Clapton's legacy, tarnished in some respects by his personal opinions, endures because of the very thing that once made people declare him a god: his unparalleled skill as a musician. And if the names on his list of favourite guitarists tell us anything, it's that Clapton's reverence for those who came before him is as deep as the respect the world continues to hold for him.